Battle of Eastern Creek promised a fierce confrontation between arch-enemies Ford and Holden, and the big two came out with all guns blazing. The opening round of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship was a day of mixed fortunes and high emotion. John Bow's lightning qualifying form led to a first heat victory, but the reigning champ soon began to lose his grip on the lead. Holden heroes Peter Brock and Mark Scaife fared far worse. A crunch with the concrete walls inflicted some heavy damage, while a spate of tyre failures had some drivers suggesting the new ration of 8 tyres per car was too frugal for comfort. Adding a new twist to the touring car chase was the charge of the Light Brigade. The sights and sounds of the thundering V8s at night sent the packed grandstand crowd into overdrive. And through it all emerged a new hero. 21-year-old rookie Craig Lowndes taking 2 wins from 3 starts and a special place in history. The only driver to win a championship round at his first attempt since David Mackay's Jaguar victory way back in 1960. Lowndes' stunning result moves him to the top of the points ladder, with Coke Commodore driver Wayne Gardner and reigning Ford champ John Bow hot on his heels. Today, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship heads south and the long straight in Grand Prix City. The high-speed 3.1-kilometre track demands big horsepower, strong brakes and a special commitment through the daunting S's, which always sort the men from the boys. We'll also get a taste of two-wheeled action in the opening round of the Shell Superbike Series. And we'll take a minute getting to know Eastern Creek winner Craig Lowndes. All that and much more in today's Ford versus Holden V8 War.
Hello and welcome to Sandown on a great day for the second round of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championships, and already the pressure is on, with Craig Lowndes winning the opening round at Eastern Creek and with John Bow for the Shell team coming back to take pole position here again today. There is a real dogfight promised in this new format. 3 races and only 8 tyres per car allowed over the 3 heats. The big question mark hangs over the 2 men on the second row of the grid, Mark Scaife and Peter Brock, who both crashed out of the first round at Eastern Creek. They are under a lot of pressure. The top 8 cars are under the existing lap record. It promises to be a thriller. Andy Raymond is not with us today, but we should pass on our congratulations to him and certainly to his wife Vanessa, who gave birth to a baby girl during the week. But while Andy's not here, Mark Osler and Brad Jones certainly are, and the flag is about to drop on heat 1.
Yes, indeed, Gary Wilkinson, the V8's only moments away from being unleashed on Sandown Park. A quick chat with Brad Jones, our co-commentator. Brad, what's it take to win here?
Well, the big thing is it's a horsepower circuit, long straight and a hard break at the end. So if you've got that part of the car sorted out, you're in with a big chance.
Now, I'll put you on the spot here. Who are you tipping to win?
Well, it's a tough one. Lowndes has been very, very fast and certainly off his success at Eastern Creek. But John Bow's on pole, and if he can get a good start, he's my man.
And the Bell and Holden here, who do you tip as the strongest car?
Well, I think they're very evenly balanced. I think, you know, really it's whoever gets in front. So I guess at this point in time, probably the Ford.
Great action to come here. As you can see, a big crowd pouring into Sandown Raceway, no doubt to see local kid Craig Lowndes strut his stuff. Let's have a look how they line up for the first heat.
And here's the lineup. John Bow in the premier spot for Shell FAI, just 0.1. Craig Lowndes, second row, Mark Scaife and 0.5.
The Ford Credit Falcon of Glenn Seaton with Castrol VR. Row 4, and Tony Longhurst in
row 7. Cars Neil Crompton, 6th row, Russell Ingle and Alan Jones.
Row 7 is Paul Romano in the pack leader Falcon with Greg Crick in the Alcare VP. Row 8, Mark Larkham in the Mitre 10 Ford and David Parsons in the Freightliner VR.
On the 9th row, car 52, Steve Ellery, car 32, Stephen Richards. The 10th row, car 38, Mark Poole, and then Kevin Heffernan in 74.
Row 11, Chris Smurden in the Commodore with John Trimble in the Ostjet Aircraft Charter Falcon EB. Row 12, Trevor Ashby in the Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore and Peter Dillman, car 29 in the Commodore VP.
It's John Bow on pole, JB and the kid on the front row. The hot shoe shuffle for the first turn. Round 2, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. And away they go, and Lowndes off to a flying start. Oh, he's got the jump on John Bow. Peter Brock also off to a good start on the outside. Mark Scaife tied up on the inside, crunch there with Tony Longhurst. Well, was it Larry Perkins as they went through the first turn.
Peter Brock trying to muscle in there. Good start by Brocky. Got up to third position. An even better start by his teammate Craig Lowndes. Leapt off the outside front row to get the jump on poleman John Bowe for the run up the back straight for the first time. Starts once again crucial here, Bradley Jones.
Well, it's just, you know, that's what it's all about. Craig's got a dream start to that race, and now JB's one with all the work in front of him.
Thundering up over the rise, 260 kilometres an hour. Craig Lowndes leads him across through the left-hander. Crowd cheering for the local lad. Gets a wheel up on the curve, as does John Bowe on maximum attack. So it's Lowndes in control with Bowe in second position, Brock, then the first of the Coke cars in fourth. Big pack of V8 shuffling through XR8 corner. Here's Lowndes, our race leader, car 15 in the Mobile Commodore. Sensational victory at Eastern Creek just 6 or 7 days ago. And wanting to put another one up here at Sandown in front of his home crowd. Onto the main straight for the first time. Lowndes in control from the shell forward. The crowd are on their feet. Craig Lowndes in control. Hard under brakes for turn one. Bowe trying to close the gap. Great battle here. We saw these two going hammer and tongs at the 1994 Tooheys 1000 in similar circumstances. Lowndes now has a little bit more experience under his belt, and boy, is giving John Bowe a run for his money, Brad.
Well, usually it takes the Bridgestones 2 or 3 laps to get the heat into them to get the maximum out of the performance, where the Dunlops come on strong straight away. So Craig's doing a great job to stay in front of JB, but there's really nothing between them at this point in time.
Well, Holland Race Team have introduced a system for Craig this year which helps him get the car off the start line. Shows a percentage on the car's PI dashboard, and all Craig has to do is hit that percentage on the throttle, and he knows he's got just the right power for the start. There's Mark Larkin. Boy, oh boy, is this team in the wars in 96.
He's having a very tough year so far. I guess it can only get better from here for them, though.
Might have 10-4. We saw him in all sorts of problems at Eastern Creek. And really, the first heat has just got off to a disastrous start.
There's the freight train through the back of the course. Wayne Gardner, great start by him coming from 7th position on the grid. Took advantage of a little mix-up between Larry Perkins and Mark Scaife through the first corner to advantage himself and move up just behind the leading trio.
So Lowndes across the start-finish line, a 1:13.69, 1:12.49 in his qualifying. Then we've got Bowe, Brock, Gardner here in 4th position. Perkins coming after him. Larry had a pretty ordinary run at Eastern Creek, much more competitive here. Right up behind the Coca-Cola Commodore, we take Race Cam out of the Castrol car. Larry feeding it gears as they head up toward the back straight once again, building up a lot of speed. And how important is the aerodynamic run up here, Bradley? Can you make some ground on them coming up toward the S's?
Well, the big trick is getting out of that last corner we were at, so you get a nice run onto the straight, but certainly with a car just in front of you like Wayne is here, you can see where he brakes, brake just a touch later, and as you see Larry just close up that little bit, nice touch of the curb there, use the most amount of track on the outside there, and hopefully catch him just that little bit.
So Wayne Gardner, Larry Perkins closing in. Perkins, of course, the winner here 12 months ago, the opening round of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship in atrocious wet conditions. Got a glorious sunny day in Melbourne. See if his luck can continue.
Dick Johnson just in behind that pair, followed by Mark Scaife.
Mark Scaife here, trying to make up the top 6. It's Lowndes, Bowe, Brock, Gardner, Perkins, Johnson. Johnson coming under fire now from Scaife, who's moved up a couple of positions. In 7th, Johnson's in 6th. And viewers who may have seen a white Commodore in Mark Scaife's hands last weekend, he hasn't resprayed that car. This is actually the spare car they used last year, still in its Rothman's war paint.
Tony Longhurst astern of him, and then Glenn Seaton, who's had a real shuffle back in the pack.
So Scaife tries to climb up on the outside of Johnson to head up toward the S's once again. Hairy-chested maneuver here, and he does it too. Right at the last minute, maximum braking just sneaks through on Johnson. So Johnson goes back to 7th position. Scaife into the top 6.
That's a fantastic move around the outside there. I'm telling you, unless you're in the car and you feel how fast you're going there, you've got no idea what it's like, but that's a very, very brave move.
Well, Alan Jones was talking about Sandown Park. He said that really does sort the men from the boys coming through that section. Here's Craig Lowndes, well in control. 3 laps down.
On their feet again as he comes past the main grandstand here at Sandown. This is the new hero in Australian motorsport.
4 laps completed of this 15-lap encounter. You can see how hard he's working that car. It's the 2 inside wheels up. Maximum cornering load. John Bowe still in 2nd position. Let's have a look back through the pack. There's
Brock in third position. Gardner in fourth. Perkins in fifth. There's Johnson. And Seaton moving up. Ingle and Tony Longhurst. That's the top 10. There's the first of the pack leader Falcons. Been in a bit of trouble, the pack leader cars this weekend. Alan Jones had a brake drama in qualifying. Just not getting the speed and balance out of the car that they like, but it's early days yet for pack leader. Glenn Seaton missed the second practice session yesterday with a split oil cooler, driving through the pits of all things. So missed out a little bit of track time, but looking quick here in the race. Closing up the gap up to 8th position, right up behind Johnson's Shell Falcon. And Glenn was saying, Bradley, that the responsibility of only having to run one car in 96 is a huge weight off his shoulders.
Well, I'm sure when you run the two cars in the team like he has the last couple of years, it's more than twice the work of running one car. You need that extra amount of spares. It just compounds. If you need 10 blokes to run one car, you need 25 to run two, and I'm sure he's finding this much easier.
Pretty tough when you've got to drive them and supervise all the work on them as well.
Johnson there hard on the brakes, the back of the car wandering around a little bit over the bumps. Scaife really, Seaton I should say, really applying the pressure here in the Ford Credit Falcon right up behind Johnson as they head onto the main straight once again. Down the back, big fast run here. Corner exit speed critical. Johnson trying to get a break on Seaton. Seaton's really close.
Well, Seaton's really all over him. You can watch Glenn, he's trying everything. He's driving over all the curbs. We can see from inside the race cam before, and see Dick's not going to leave a little room for anyone else to go around the outside of him there.
Fabulous battle. You can see how hard the cars work through there. Almost straight line the corner. Seaton down the inside. There could be contact here on the way out. Muscling his way through. Johnson's hanging on, but he's getting left behind in the drag race, but he's got a good line for the chicane. Comes back under attack. Seaton's still in charge. Eventually Johnson has to give way. Fabulous manoeuvre there.
Well, it certainly dragged on for a couple of corners, but Glenn's carrying a little bit more speed, and he's desperate to get up near the leaders, and had to get past Dick. Good move.
So Lowndes opening up 1.5 seconds the gap over Bow in second. This is the view from the back of Scaife's car.
Johnson under attack now from Tony Longhurst as well, and Longhurst gets him through the corner.
Russell Ingle,
sorry.
The Castrol Commodore. And Russell's been doing a tremendous job throughout qualifying here. Running up in the top 6 early in practice.
And in fact, Longhurst just behind, so
Castrol cars all over the place.
Dick is really under fire.
So you can see Seaton now past Johnson. He's really opened up the gap. Russell Ingle for the Bathurst winning Castrol Commodore, the car that Larry and Russell drove so effectively at Mount Panorama last year. Seeing service now in the 95 championship, and Russell is doing a tremendous job. This circuit, I think, seems to suit the Dunlop shot cars quite well, Brad.
Well, looking at the leader, you wouldn't be too sure about that, but it does. The Dunlops seem to work very well here. The Johnson team's always had a very successful record. Here we have a bit of a look at Glenn Seaton and back on the leader.
So race leader Craig Lowndes, 6 laps down, will come up to complete 7. He's across the start-finish line this time. He's doing it easy. Check the gap on the monitor as they cross the line. 1.8 seconds, so he's pumped it out a couple more tenths, just opening the gap by a few tenths a lap on John Bow, who at the moment seems powerless to do anything about this man. Craig Lowndes well in control. Let's check it out on the Shell race score for you. John Bow in second position, Peter Brock hanging back in third, Wayne Gardner in the Coca-Cola Racing Commodore in fourth, and Larry Perkins in the Castrol Commodore.
Here's good news for prestige car buyers. Jackson Ford specialise in all types of luxury cars. They sell Honda, coupes and sedans, BMWs, both early and current models, even MX-6 or Mercedes-Benz and four-wheel drives. Jackson's will even buy your prestige car direct. Low-rate finance is available at 10% to approved clients, or repayments can be delayed until Easter 96. So see Jackson Ford now, your prestige car dealer in northern Tasmania.
Karcher, the world's largest manufacturer of high-pressure cleaners, offer more. The widest range of machines, suitable for every cleaning problem. World-leading technology and dependability. Plus, statewide after-sales service by our factory-trained technicians. And all from a company with over 60 years' experience. So, whatever your cleaning needs, call the name you can rely on. The name with experience. Karcher, 60 years strong.
Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, and they won't be beaten on price. A huge range of selected new parts for Holden, Ford, Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi, Suzuki and Toyota, and all at discount prices. New headlights, taillights, grills, panels, mirrors, bumper bars, blinkers and door handles. Now's the time to buy, and Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers won't be beaten on price. They try harder. Discount prices on new parts, and the range is enormous. See them, Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, 86 Sunderland Street, Derwent Park. Tasmania's Paul Stokel is dual Australian driving champion. Trust Bank is supporting Paul and other Tasmanians to achieve their sporting dreams. And now you have the chance to see Paul race at the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Trustbank's 8.99% fixed home loan is the best deal you'll ever drive. And if you take out the loan by the 1st of March, you'll be in the draw to join me at the Melbourne Grand Prix. But hurry, with rates like this, they're going fast.
Trust Bank, your bank.
Oscar winner William Hurt with Chicago Hope's Mandy Patinkin and Adam Arkin in the brilliant movie that inspired a whole new generation of medical drama.
Doctor, you have a growth.
A hotshot surgeon becomes an ordinary patient.
This is a private room.
At the mercy of a system he helped create.
Shout at a doctor.
I am a doctor.
But then he discovers what it means to care.
Every doctor becomes a patient somewhere down the line, and then it'll hit you.
An unforgettable motion picture, The Doctor, 8:30 tonight.
Larry Perkins pursued by Mark Scaife. And this is the battle here for 5th and 6th places. And they're not on their own either. There's plenty of competition surrounding this pair.
So quick through that section of track, Bradley.
Yep, Scaife's actually attacking very well here. He's got the lights on, which is a surefire signal that he wants to get by. They run that car with it rolls onto the back a lot, and he gets it out of the corners so well. And for somewhere like this with long straights, to run the car like that is a benefit if you can drive it properly, which obviously Mark can.
Scaife comes up for a big run here. 8 laps completed, 7 to go. Scaife not able to do anything about Perkins there in a straight line. Perkins under a lot of attack. Scaife switches to the outside, filling the mirrors of the Castrol Commodore. He's all over him. Do anything about it as they come up the back straight this time around. So Scaife desperate to try and get some points in his 96 campaign. Second time in 2 years the team man. Look at this. Up the inside, gets a real slingshot on the Castrol Commodore. Well positioned as they come through into the S's this time around. On the brakes, slowing from 260k. About 180 kilometres an hour through here. Daunting part of the raceway, braking in a straight line. You see Garden locking up brake in front of him. Flames belching from the Fred Gibson Motorsport Commodore. Perkins is left in his wake.
Well, Larry always has very, very strong engines, and so it's impressive to see Mark go by him like that. Now, watching the back of Mark's car here, it's very, very nicely balanced.
So here's Glenn Seaton, now moved up behind Perkins, and making a bit of progress here. Just looking at Larry's times, 14.5 last time around, all running in the mid-14 second bracket, so he's not losing a huge amount of time. Scaife really polished him up there. Glenn Seaton's really making inroads behind. So Larry looks like he's struggling for a little bit of speed at the moment.
I think so. Seaton is, when he had a little bit of clear air after he's got past stick there, he and Lowndes are the only ones in the 13s at the moment. So there's no doubt that Glenn is on the attack. Now the trick is going to be to get by Larry.
Yeah, with race leader, Craig Lowndes, not only into the 13s, 13.71, and is now 3.13 seconds ahead of John Bower, so he's doubled the gap in the last 2 laps.
3.13 seconds. There's the gap. John Bower with the lights on. Just trying to hang on to the back of Lowndes, but this kid is so quick, this combination. Holden Racing Team, Commodore Bridgestone tyres. Team working very, very hard over the last 18 months to get back at the front of the pack, and they're certainly doing it in 96. There's Peter Brock, Lowndes' teammate in 3rd position. Was in sensational qualifying form at Eastern Creek last weekend, leading them a merry dance in the first race till he spun, then everything went wrong from there. Brock, in fact, driving the team's spare car. The car, in fact, he drove in the championship last year, which was sold to John Faulkner, who'll be joining the V8 Trail a bit later in the year. And Faulkner then had to give the car back to them for a week to allow Brock to compete at Sandown.
I bet he's got his fingers crossed.
Indeed. Actually, I spoke to John on Wednesday, spent a bit of time with him, and he was saying that he's quite happy to let them run the car this weekend. He's sure that when he gets it back off the track at the end of the race, it'll be a fast car. So I'm sure he's watching this with interest.
Certainly have his fingers crossed. Field getting a bit spaced apart now. Lowndes still holding that gap. 3.6 seconds. He's pumped it out another 3/10. Bow in 2nd position. Here's Brock in 3rd. Gardner still behind him in 4th. A tremendous battle here amongst the privateers, just nipping at the tail of the Group 1 pack. And Seaton still really attacking Perkins. Not being able to find a way past yet, but looking like he's going to pretty shortly. Larry under a lot of pressure as they stretch the legs of the V8s along the main straight, down past in front of the grandstand, reaching 255 kilometres an hour before they break for turn 1.
4 laps remaining.
Well,
Seaton's been able to close the gap quite rapidly on Larry, but hasn't been able to do anything about getting past Brad.
No, that's true. He certainly doesn't have the horsepower. Well, it doesn't look like he's got the horsepower that Scaife has. He's all over him in the corners. As you can see here, he closes right up on the back of the Castrol car, but he just can't get out of the corner fast enough to pull beside Larry. And of course, you know, that allows Larry to have him well and truly covered.
So that big...
Certainly not much room to slide down the inside of Larry there.
He's going to have a look, though. Just not close enough to be able to make a move. Just very fast left-hander. So Larry manages to hold him out over the top once again. The brakes for XR6 corner.
And Larry just stays in the middle of the circuit there, so it's impossible to get down the inside of him. A good ploy, totally fair, and enough to keep Seaton out of the race.
Look how close he is here, right up beside the rear quarter panel of the Castrol Commodore. He tries to run down the inside. Perkins still in control, but only just. Still in the lead. And see if Seaton can do anything about it. He's running out of time, of course. 12 laps down, 3 to go for our race leader, Craig Lowndes. Seaton trying everything he can to get past Perkins.
Oh, here's the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Peter Brock now closing up the gap on John Bower. He's falling back into Brock's clutches. This could be a 1-2 finish for the Holden team, the way things are going, because Craig Lowndes has skipped away nearly 5 seconds now ahead of John Bower. And Peter Brock looking very anxious indeed.
A little bit of form reversal here. We have seen the Dunlop cars do pretty well at Sandown over the years, but boy, these Bridgestone shot mobile cars absolutely flying at Sandown here today. Bow now has got Brock right up behind him. Gardner still in 4th position. Scaife getting a bit closer to Gardner behind them, so it's breaking up to a number of separate battles. Neil Crompton in trouble here, car 7, after the terrific run at Eastern Creek. Not a good day at Sandown for Crompton, slowly limping up the back straight. The lack of smoke there, Brad.
Well, it's hard to tell what would be wrong with it. It may be a brake problem or something, but there's no smoke, so you'd think the engine was okay.
2 laps remaining now. Can Brock get past John Bower? It's doubtful anybody can come near Craig Lowndes with just 2 laps of the circuit remaining, barring any mishaps. John Bower, the defending touring car champion.
This will be a big boost to Lowndes too if he can win this one. Currently the series leader on 56 points when they left Sydney. Wayne Gardner in 2nd on 36, and John Bower, this man, 32 points. So Peter Brock way back in 10th position on the points table at the moment. So Bow's got a clean break in the points, but gee, he's going to need everyone if he's going to top Craig Lowndes here at Sandown this afternoon. So the battle continues here. And closer all the time.
Yeah, back in the pack, Glenn Seaton has managed to slip by Larry Perkins after a long, long battle. It was hard work. And that puts Glenn up into 6th position. Mark Scaife ahead of him. Wayne Gardner up in front of that. Then Bow and Brock, as we can see here, battling for 2nd and 3rd places. A lap to go.
Look at the gap now. Lowndes has opened it up 5.65 seconds. Checking the comments across the start-finish line this time around. 5.35, so it's come down a little bit. Bow just has no answer for Lowndes, and now he's got to try and defend his tail from Peter Brock.
And Wayne Gardner under attack from Mark Scaife as well.
So Scaife saw a demon move from Larry Perkins before. See if he can do the same on Wayne Gardner this last time around. So it's Lowndes, his 2nd and 3rd. Bow, lights ablaze, Brock behind him. There's Gardner, Mark Scaife and Glenn Seaton behind them.
Well, they can scrap all they like for 2nd and 3rd, 4th and 5th, but up the front of the pack.
Oh, look at the oil stain. Big oil stain down the side of the Castrol Falcon, smoke belching from it. I just suspect that'd be Bradley.
Definitely an engine problem.
They'll be happy not to be coming around another lap to run into that.
Absolutely. So Brock trying everything he can, but Bow proving his mastery of this defensive driving technique. He's defending from Brock, but there's nothing he can do about this guy. Craig Lowndes is absolutely cleaned up here. Crowd on their feet as he just rolls across the start-finish line to win Heat 1. Fabulous drive from Lowndes, just so effortless. Just got out the front and drove away from the rest of the field.
What a reception for 21-year-old Craig Lowndes. Winner again, the opening heat here at Sandown by 5 seconds plus over John Bow. Peter Brock in 3rd place. Wayne Gardner hung on for 4th. And Mark Scaife rounds out the top 5.
Well, Craig Lowndes just walking away with Heat 1. Great drive, Craig. That just looks so easy.
I'm sure I can tell you it's not easy. It's no, the start, obviously I got a great start again. I bet Bowie into the first corner. I knew who would really get into the first corner to sort of hopefully dominate and win the race. And yeah, we got in the first corner first, and sort of it wasn't easy, I'm sure. But Bowie's you know, obviously going to come out the next race and push a bit harder, I think.
Is it hot work out there?
It's actually hotter standing out of the car than in it. But you know, with the cool suits and everything we've got with the car, it's quite calm and cool in there.
Well, you're certainly making it look easy, Craig. Best of luck for later in the day.
Thank you.
We're going to a break. Back with more action from Sandown International Raceway in just a moment.
There are lawns, and then there are lawns. Whether it be the backyard or Bellreeve Oval, at Reg McDougall, we have the mower to get the job done. From Husqvarna, we've got ride-ons priced from just $2,990. These Husqvarna push mowers are as cheap as chips. There's brush cutters, line trimmers, this fabulous garden tiller, garden blowers and vacuums. Plus, approved purchases receive 6 months interest-free terms. Mowing lawns may never be the most enjoyable thing you'll ever do, but at Reg McDougall, we'll make it a lot easier.
1,021, 1,022, 1,023, 1,024, 1,020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! Ha!
Whiskers announce a breakthrough inspired by the ancient art of drying foods. By using real meat, cheese, eggs and fish, the new Whiskettes range captures the quality protein, essential fats, minerals, vitamins and fiber your cat needs. So you can be sure your cat is enjoying a perfectly balanced meal every day. New Whiskettes. No wonder happiness is a Whiskers cat.
Look at that, Arthur. They've invented everything in the world now. Yes, Davo, but we still don't have any decent garage doors.
And so, Arthur Byrne and Paul Davidson became B&D. And B&D became part of the great Australian dream.
What's up, Mick? Business getting to you?
1 minute.
What if this fax machine didn't take so long?
You're a bit of a dummy, Mick. For under $1,000, you could have bought a plain paper fax from Brother. Its 10-page memory stores your incoming and outgoing faxes. It has automatic redial and lets you broadcast to up to 70 destinations, giving you more time to get your act together.
Hurry up, you're on. Where were you when I bought this?
In your suitcase, Mick.
For under $1,000, the 1200p plain paper fax from Brother.
Have a good look around a News Power news agency. You're bound to discover something new. Schaefer pens with a lifetime warranty. Also for back to school, you'll find packs of reinforced refills and bargain price data spec diskettes. And a special school offer, paper-made bonus packs with a free gift in every pack. So find out for yourself. The News Power back to school sale catalogue is out now. Come on in and discover something new.
Someone's doing something they shouldn't.
She's having an affair.
While a cop with connections brings a teenage criminal face to face with the higher court.
The suspect's dying.
Is it time to give justice a helping hand? University Hospital, 8:30 Tuesday.
7 Sports, the Olympic Network, bringing you the 1996 Atlanta Games, the 1998 Winter Olympics at Nagano, Australia's sporting event of the century, the 2000 Sydney Olympics, 2002, the Winter Olympic Games from Salt Lake City, the 28th Olympiad Summer Games in 2004, the Winter Olympics of 2006, and in 2008, the Summer Games of the 29th Olympiad.
Yes, indeed, a big year for the 7 Network with the 1996 Olympics from Atlanta, a little bit later in the year. Well, we'll get our first taste of Shell Superbike action at Sandown today. And joining us for commentary, a guy who knows a lot about two-wheeled racing, 1993 World 500cc champion Kevin Schwantz. Welcome to Sandown, Kevin.
Thanks a lot.
Now, I know you've got a new career. You're off 2 wheels, you're into 4 wheels in NASCAR racing. You enjoying a new career?
Well, so far it's been pretty good. We've had a couple pretty good results, and you know, the racing is a lot different from racing motorcycles, but it's something that it's different and it's changed. It's a change and it's a new challenge.
I know a lot of guys who step off the 2 wheels, they get into 4, but they really start to miss the 2 wheels. Are you feeling that way?
Well, I've done pretty well so far. You know, the 96 Grand Prix season hasn't started yet, but I'm sure once it does, I'll have that desire to want to get back out there and ride those 500cc bikes. But you know, I finished off last season going to a few of the races, and you know, I feel like I've got it out of my system.
Great. Well, Kevin Schwantz joining us for the Shell Superbike action today. Let's have a look at how they line up on the grid. Troy Bayliss starts off pole position in the Team Kawasaki ZXR with Peter Goddard alongside him. Road 2 will be Martin Craggle in the Team Kawasaki and Dean Thomas in the Mobile Honda. Road 3, Ben Archibald and Sean Giles on the Ducatis. Row 4, Damon Buckmaster and David Emerson. And out of row 5, Rip Crocker and Paul Young. Well, it's supposed to be Rip Crocker starting out of that position, but there's his bike 21. He's dropped it on the warm-up lap, done some damage. The marshals have pushed it away, and he's a non-starter today. Moments away they go. In fact, jumping off the line, wheel standing, getting the power to the ground. Opening Shell Superbike heat at Sandown. 2 Kawasaki's in control, 1 running wide there. Big field shuffling through turn 1. And down toward the S's for the first time. I think it's Peter Goddard and Martin Craggle fighting for position as they head up the back straight for the first time. We welcome Kevin Schwantz to the commentary. 32 it is, Bayliss the pole man with Peter Goddard right behind him. Kevin, you've done some time on superbikes. They're just fabulous machines.
They really are, and Bayliss and Goddard both got off the line really well there. Troy looked like he may have even jumped the start a little bit, but I don't think he was a full bike link over. And that's right where Peter needs to be if he's going to race with Troy today.
So onto this tight infield section, which they use as a safety measure for the superbikes. Bayliss it is in control from Peter Goddard on the Suzuki. Plenty of power, about 150 horsepower. Kicking through the rear wheel of these things, pretty wild to ride. And I guess, Kevin, a great training ground for future Grand Prix riders.
It is, and you know, over the past 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of good talent come through the Australian Superbike Series. Troy Corser, Anthony Gobert, a lot of those guys are working their way up through World Superbikes now and on to hopefully Grand Prix racing in the very near future.
So the Sean Giles there, first the Ducati 916, hard under brakes there, the bike's squirming around. 5, Craggle in behind him. As they come onto the pit straight for the first of 9 laps. One's down, looks like Peter Goddard. Big shame. Ansett Air Freight Suzuki has dropped in the grass. qualified second fastest, looking very good on Saturday. But now he's got it all ahead of him. Bike doesn't look too badly damaged.
Looks like Peter just got a little bit too far outside there, and I think the bike just went down to the low side. It doesn't look like it's done much damage, so it didn't go down very hard. But it's going to be tough to motivate himself and get back to the front, especially with this race only being 9 laps long.
He's our race leader, Troy Bayliss. Ducati in second, Sean Giles, Martin Craggle in third. So a good strong run from the Kawasaki's, taking on the Ducati at Sandown here. ZXR 750R, still the most powerful bike in the field, but not the most successful. Hang on, we've got a problem here for 5. Martin Craggle leaning up in the saddle. He had some problem down there in the front of him. What could that have been, Kevin?
I didn't really see what happened there. I was kind of looking over the start sheet to see who the number 65 was. Looks like Craggle must have a problem with the bike, the ignition or something. It's not smoking, so I don't think it's terribly bad, but it's definitely keeping him from running.
Been taken by a few. He's got a problem looking over his back, looking down at the tank. He's not sure what it is, but it slowed him up enough to let a whole swag of bikes push their way through. And there is our race leader, 32 Bayliss, doing it easy out in the front. Just look how close second place is. It was about 3.5 seconds the last time across the start finish line. Waiting for second come around should be Sean Giles on the Ducati. There he is, bike 19. Ducati, very dominant machine in World Superbike competition. 5-time World Superbike champion, 1991, 92, 94 and 95. The last 2 years with Carl Fogarty at the controls. And by adjusting the weights this year, Kevin, to make both the V-twins and the 4 cylinders 162 kilograms, I guess they're trying to stop this dominance of World Superbikes by the Italians.
They're really trying to even things up and keep the racing as close as they can. The Ducatis have definitely had some advantages over the past couple of seasons. It's good to see Superbike racing keeping a good tight control on that and keeping the racing as equal as they can.
Bike 74 off the racetrack and out of the race apparently. Rob Phillips making his comeback, the 39-year-old. And a disappointing way to debut, Kevin.
Yeah, he won't be real happy about that. And there's another bike coming from off the track back on, which is I think less than ideal racing line.
Phil Allen it was on the Ducati, in trouble as well. No troubles for this man, 32. Troy Bayliss, fabulous debut. Team Kawasaki Australia, showing the sort of dominance that Matt Aladdin showed a few years ago. If he can continue this all year, he'll absolutely wipe the floor. 1 lap to go, final lap. 8 laps completed, so 1 more lap of the 3.9 kilometre Sandown Raceway in Melbourne. And I guess, having seen the staircase to success for previous Australian champions in Superbike, Kevin, if he keeps this up, he'll probably heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I would have to say so. The Australian kids who've been coming out as of recent into World Superbike racing, have really come in and made a name for themselves. I think Troy Bayliss is set to do that as well. If he can continue to ride like this and dominate all season long, he stands a really good chance of moving up into the world ranks.
Now, you started in Superbikes in the States, moved into European Grand Prix racing. Which do you see as the best way for a young rider to start, through the European system of 125, 250 up to 500, or through the Superbike path?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on kind of what you've grown up racing. Some guys have never ridden anything but Grand Prix type bikes, which is a little bit more rare than guys who ride Superbikes a lot. So the Superbike racing is good. The 125 and the 250 class is good. I still feel like Superbike racing is a better stepping stone to get you into 500cc racing, because the bikes have more horsepower than the 250 GP bikes and the 125 GP bikes, and it just it's that little bit easier to compensate from going to a Superbike to going to a 500 than it is a 250 to a 500.
And I guess the physical size of them and maybe the weight of them gives you a better physical preparation too.
We used to do an endurance race in Japan, and about halfway through each season, and after that you go get back on the Grand Prix bikes. You just flick the things around underneath you. They felt so light and so much fun to ride.
Okay, here's our race winner by a country mile, Troy Bayliss. Over 4 seconds the gap on Giles as they come across to take the checkered flag. Bayliss the winner. Shell Superbike Series Heat 1, fist in the air. And well, he may do that. Troy Bayliss. Let's check it out on the Shell race score. That's the man who won. Sean Giles in second position. Ben Archibald on the Gibson Freight Ducati in third position. Dean Thomas in the Mobile Honda. And David Emerson in the Kawasaki ZXR.
During the official Ford factory clearance, Jackson Ford have slashed prices on new EF Falcon sedans to just $23,990. All are fitted with airbag, ABS brakes, air conditioning and automatic transmission, and each car comes with a 2-year Ford factory warranty backed by all Ford dealers. Low-rate finance is available at 10% to approved clients, or repayments can be delayed until Easter '96. So buy direct from your Ford dealer. See Jackson Ford now.
And you say he knows nothing about safe sex?
I doubt he thinks about it. He's just started going with a girlfriend.
Do you talk to him about it?
He'd be so embarrassed.
Sure, it's a difficult age. And I'm honestly not sure that generation's all that clued up.
They think they are.
And you're the last person who'd want to know he even has a private life.
Mm-hmm.
But you care about him.
I really do.
Look, there's a lot of stuff I can send you. And if you leave it lying around like it was your reading material, I think it'd get read.
You'll probably wonder why I'm reading it.
Hey, you're entitled. Well, it's good he's going out.
Yeah. Well, it is 5 years since Mum died.
Please!
Henry, Molly, let's get those fleas.
I'll bet it's a spray.
Maybe it's that powder. Or the bath.
I bust.
Here, Henry.
What's this?
It's Program, the new easy way to beat fleas. Included with your pet's food once a month, and you'll beat fleas for good. Program and free advice on beating fleas are at your local vet clinic now.
It's not a pergola. It's not a veranda. It's the versatile Pergola, and its uses are limited only by your imagination. At the flick of a switch, use solar power to light and warm your rooms. The Colorbond steel louvers offer natural insulation. Vertical pergolas give instant privacy and protection. And with the Pergola, you're never at the mercy of the elements. The versatile Pergola, a million great ideas under the one roof.
Normally, little Tommy Johnson wouldn't stand a chance against NBA star Grant Hill. But today, he's drinking Sprite.
You're in my world now, Hill.
Okay, so maybe Sprite won't make you a better athlete. But just to be sure, now we'll pit Tommy against sumo wrestler Katashi.
Good luck, kid.
Monday on Southern Cross, get ready for a ride.
This is the real thing, gentlemen.
The series blockbuster you've been waiting for. Action you won't believe. A hero you won't forget. From the creator of Magnum P.I., part warrior, part detective.
She's missing.
All hero. The movie-length premiere.
You know they say about gold wings and a white uniform.
The mega series for '96. Jag, 8:30 Monday on Southern Cross Television.
Coming close to winning the '94 Bathurst at my first attempt. Probably the start of the '94 Sandown 500 where I ended up playing in the sand. My father, my brother and my mother, because I love them to death. Probably Michael Schumacher. Just be interested to see how he trains for his sport. I was pretty active in other sports when I was young and before I started motor racing, so probably either cricket, football, or maybe even swimming. Banned Fords from racing. Very hard to pinpoint one person. You'd have to at least name 8 of drivers that are quite eligible of winning the touring car series this year, so hopefully I'm one of them.
ahead at Craig Lowndes, and more than one way to keep you cool here at Sandown today. Warm day in Melbourne, and just to keep the fans amused between the action on the track, we've got action on the, well, lake might be stretching it, but on the pond in the middle of the circuit here. And the cars now lining up on the grid for Heat 2, round 2 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship, and this is the way they line up. Craig Lowndes now has the pole, courtesy of his heat victory in the first. John Bowe alongside him on the front row, then Peter Brock and Wayne Gardner.
Out of row 3, Mark Scaife in the Gibson Motorsport Commodore with Glenn Seaton in the Ford Credit Ford. Row 4, Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore and Dickie Johnson in the Shell FAI Falcon.
And the fifth row occupied by car 11, Larry Perkins, and car 301, Alan Jones. All eyes are on the youngster, car 15, Craig Lowndes. John Bowe alongside him, but Lowndes with a premier pole position now for Heat 2. Bowe off to a better start this time, and it's Lowndes who bogs it down, and the Shell FAI car is going to have the run to the first turn.
Look at that great start by the Cape Commodore. Wayne Gardner, though, leaves them all stranded and manages to charge through from the second row to lead them into the chicane. Fantastic start from the former motorcycle champ. Up toward corner onto the back straight. Lowndes shuffled back a little bit there. Dick Johnson in amongst the pack. As they come up the back straight for the first time, it's Gardner with Bowe in second. I think it's Lowndes in third, then Mark Scaife in fourth. Glenn Seaton in fifth position as they take the top of the rise, 260k, flying down through the S's for the first time. This is the sort of start Wayne Gardner would have been praying for, Bradley.
Oh, he certainly would have. He got the car off the line beautifully, and I thought John Bowe got a great start, but they're certainly into it here. It's a sensational start by the Coke team.
Yeah, I think John Bowe probably thought he was going to breathe a little easy for a minute, that he had Craig Lowndes covered, but down the outside, Wayne Gardner, fantastic. A lot of action at the start as usual, and just after the... Whoa! That was Larry Perkins' car.
Stephen Richards is who he
Right into the back of Stephen Richards' car there, and he's losing positions. A bit of damage to the Castrol Commodore. We'll find out. There's Wayne Gardner, meanwhile, in control of the race. John Bowe in second position, Lowndes in third.
I believe that's Brock.
It's actually Brock in third. So Lowndes has gone right back to seventh position. He got really served up in that first corner. So it's Brock in third, Scaife in fourth, Seaton in fifth, Ingall in sixth, Lowndes in seventh, and it's Jones, Johnson and Stephen Richards, the first of the privateers.
Well, it's amazing, totally different complexion over this second heat of the championship now. Craig Lowndes with an awful lot of work to do. Peter Brock will be pleased about this.
See a big tyre mark in the side of Brock's rear door there. There's Craig Lowndes locked in behind Russell Ingall.
This will be a good test for Craig. He's I wouldn't say he's had easy races, but he's certainly been at the front for the last couple. And as he seems to respond very well to pressure. He drove very, very well in the race at Eastern Creek when Gardner was coming at him. And here we got Mark Scaife, who also is very hungry for points at the moment. He didn't have a good run at Eastern Creek, and he needs to get as many as he can this weekend.
Look at that, Stephen Richards just on the back of Dick Johnson's car there. The Valvoline Cummins Commodore, the first of the privateers, as they lead down the main straight once again. Here's Ingall, there's Lowndes. These cars are so close and competitive, Brad. They're so difficult to pass in. It's really going to be hard for him to make progress. Should be fascinating to watch.
It will be fascinating to watch. A lot will come down to tyres, of course, and brakes, and there's really two spots that are reasonably easy to pass here at Sandown, which is down into Dandenong Road and at the end of Pitt Straight. So you've got to be nice and close to the car in front of you and just be able to pull out and outbrake them.
7 Sport race cam or Glenn Seaton's Ford Credit Racing Falcon EF pulls it into 6th gear up the hill once again, chasing Mark Scaife. Gardner, Bowe, Brock ahead of him. Much better start from Peter Brock in 05. And his teammate Craig Lowndes, who just annihilated them in the first heat, got a lot of work to do here.
Seaton very quick through this part of the circuit. You can see how much he's caught up to Scaife. The car seems to ride over the curbs very well. You watch, there we have John Trimble.
They got riding over the curbs, the off-jet Falcon. John Trimble in all sorts of trouble. Coming through the S's there. He's going to have to wait, fire it up, and let all that traffic pass before he gets back into the fray. Lights him up.
Oops, don't want to tear the spoiler off it.
So Mark Scaife hangs on to 4th position. Larry Perkins just making his way back through the pack past Stephen Richards. So that puts him up into position 10. So Perkins fighting back. from that little bump, as we saw on race cam on the first lap. The first laps in these things are so hectic.
Well, and it's so important to be near the front. You've seen what's happened to Craig. He's gone from pole back down to 7th, and you know, he's right onto this group, so but hasn't made any progress yet.
So here they come, the leading bunch. Gardner still leading from Bow. There's Brock in 3rd position, a bit of a gap back to Scaife. Seaton, Ingle and Lowndes still in 7th position. Here's our race leader, Wayne Gardner. Very competitive run from the 1987 World Motorcycle Champ at Eastern Creek. Finished up 2nd overall on the night. And this is a terrific start.
Gardner, Bow both running under 1:14. Just a fraction of a second between them. Brock not far away. Mark Scaife then. Glenn Seaton, Russell Ingle, Craig Lowndes.
Field follows through. It's Dick Johnson. Wayne Gardner in the Coke Commodore. Engines by Rob Benson, former Holden Racing Team engine builder. Very confident. This new specification engine he's got for 96 has got all the grunt that's required. And certainly Gardner's using it here. Bow, though, closing the gap a little bit.
He certainly is. The interesting thing about brakes on these cars is the Coke team use a twin caliper on the front disc, and the Johnson cars use a water-cooled single caliper to try and keep pad wear down for the long-distance races. And some circuits suit different, you know, the different applications. So here there doesn't seem to be that much in it, but it definitely looks like Bow just catches him that little bit under brakes.
So John Bow out to defend his 1995 title. Take race cam aboard. Ford Credit Falcon. Seaton getting closer and closer to Scaife all the time, but not able to do anything about the Gibson Motorsport Commodore at this stage.
He certainly has it all over Mark in the corners, but as we'll see here, that Commodore is very, very strong. And certainly...
Oh, look at this big run for the lead here as we're just looking at that battle further back in the pack. Bow has absolutely sprinted past Wayne Gardner.
Something's happened to Gardner, I believe, for him to get past so easily down the straight. He's possibly missed a gear, or will watch his car. Maybe there's a slight problem there somewhere, but you know, you just don't pull out past someone in this class at the front of the field that easily. So it might be a little bit of a problem there. As I said, possibly a missed gear or something, because he's carrying plenty of speed now. But if it was a missed gear, he certainly won't be very happy with himself.
Well, we saw his teammate Neil Crompton in the number 7 Coca-Cola Commodore had to pull out of the first heat with his gearbox jammed in 4th gear. So whether that's a problem maybe that occurred to Gardner, we'll see, but he's certainly back on the pace as they come through the S's once again. 5 laps completed, this 15-lap journey. 1/3 race distance. Little lock break from John Bow there as the car gets a little unbalanced, and Seaton tries down the inside. He's more than quarter of a way into the side of Scaife's car, but Scaife was able to get out of there pretty quickly. Seaton leaving him in no doubt. He's in a big hurry to get past. Scaife fighting for position here. This is the battle for 4th and 5th position. It's been going on for 2 or 3 laps now.
And Glenn will be able to watch Brock slowly disappear here, so he'd be in quite a hurry to get by.
So Scaife, no shortage of grunt from the Gibson Motorsport engine built by Eric Schiffelner. Doing a lot of development work, constant development work, as the Gibson team is so famous for, and certainly not lacking horsepower here in 1996. Here's Lowndes trying to make his way through. He's still in behind Ingle. Oh, look at this. Big run up the inside from Seaton. Looks across at Scaife.
Watch his head shake. He's just, you know, trying to egg that car on, and there's no doubt that there he looks across and gives Scaife a nod.
He's got a big grin on his face too.
Yeah, Scaife is waving back to him. Now they're watching for the bridge here to see who's going to brake last, and I say to be Glenn.
Well, they're cool customers. That's 260 kilometres an hour, looking out at each other and waving like they're stopped at a set of traffic lights. Great cooperation there from the 2 young guns. Scaife almost waving him through. He had the inside line.
Now look at Perkins and Lowndes right in behind them.
So Seaton did what he was trying to do for 3 or 4 laps. Pushed up the inside, got the run on the main straight, and got his way through. But look at Lowndes all over the back of Ingle's car. We saw Ingle drive very strongly. Very impressive debut in the Shell Championship in the Castrol Holden at Eastern Creek. And he's showing that form continued here as Craig Lowndes tries to apply the thumb screws and get through on the inside of the Castrol Commodore. That's the battle for 6th and 7th position.
Well, Craig's a championship contender now, and so he really needs to be very sensible about this, which it seems as he is. It's just a matter of if you can't get by them, no point spearing off the road. Consolidate, stay where you are, and collect as many points as possible.
Let's check them out for you on the Shell race score. John Bowe in command, Wayne Gardner still in second, Peter Brock in third, Glenn Seaton, we just shoot past Mark Scaife there. Mark Scaife in fifth position. We'll be back with more from Sandown in just a moment.
Karcher, the world's largest manufacturer of high-pressure cleaners, offer more. The widest range of machines, suitable for every cleaning problem. World-leading technology and dependability. Plus, statewide after-sales service by our factory-trained technicians, and all from a company with over 60 years' experience. So, whatever your cleaning needs, call the name you can rely on. The name with experience. Karcher, 60 years strong.
There are lawns, and then there are lawns. Whether it be the backyard or Bellreeve Oval, at Reg McDougall, we have the mower to get the job done. We've got mowers from Victor, Rover, Flymo, Massport and Husqvarna. It would have to be just about Hobart's biggest range of lawnmowers under the one roof. Plus, approved purchasers get 6 months interest-free terms. Mowing lawns may never be the most enjoyable thing you'll ever do, but at Reg McDougall, we'll make it a lot easier.
Tasmania's Paul Stokel is dual Australian driving champion. Trust Bank is supporting Paul and other Tasmanians to achieve their sporting dreams. And now you have the chance to see Paul race at the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Trustbank's 8.99% fixed home loan is the best deal you'll ever drive. And if you take out the loan by the 1st of March, you'll be in the draw to join me at the Melbourne Grand Prix. But hurry, with rates like this, they're going fast.
Trust Bank, your bank.
I'm Winks the cat, bedroom expert. It's Wink and Save Week at 40 Winks. Save $300 on these beautiful bedroom suites. Truly $300 off. You won't need your purse, nothing to pay until next August, and interest-free. Save on timber and iron beds, kids' beds, and bedding too. Same deal. Pay nothing until next August and interest-free. Savings easy as winking at 40 Winks, and interest-free.
Shoo, shoo, bum. Shoo, 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 bum. Shoo-lang, shoo-lang.
At Bets and Bets, you'll not only find the best back-to-school service, you'll also find the biggest range of Clark's school shoes for boys and girls of all sizes. Plus our sensational half-price backpack offer. So for top value and service on Clark's, hurry into Bets and Bets.
Continuing our reputation for drama excellence.
Oops, beg your pardon.
The smash hit of 95 returns in a powerful new season.
I said give her the injection.
I won't.
With new faces and new challenges.
Who's gonna make it a nice even 3,000? 3,000 right there.
It's real human emotion.
You make it sound so simple.
Suppose it is.
In a special movie-length premiere.
We're going on a date. What?
The Emmy Award-winning brilliance of Chicago Hope. 8:30 Wednesday on Southern Cross.
Wayne Gardner closing the gap to John Bowe. Saw him lose position to Bowe a few laps ago, but he's coming back at him stronger than ever. Peter Brock, too, is joining in the battle. Pretty high-powered threesome here at the front.
It certainly is. The Dunlop seem to be working very well today. These two cars are just, just cruising along and doing the same pace lap after lap after lap. In the earlier race, John Bowe had a little bit of problem with the front brakes, which is what his problem was at Eastern Creek. And it tends to get a little worse as the race ticks by, but, he's certainly very strong at the moment.
Well, Seaton, the fastest man on the track that time around, the only guy in the 1-minute 13-second bracket. These guys running in the mid-14s at the front, so Seaton perhaps closing the gap. But these new 20-minute races, not a lot of time to fight your way back through the field. He's got a lot of work ahead of him still, but up in 4th position, some 4 seconds behind the race leader. They come over the top. Bowe. His mirror's full of Coca-Cola Commodore. He's got Brock in behind him. So we'll see another display of Bowe's defensive driving. Try and keep Gardner boxed in for the rest of the distance. 8 laps completed, 8.5. It'll be 9 laps as they come around this time. Gardner has a real look up the inside. They come into the chicane. looking for a nice quick run on the main straight once again.
Well, Gardner not only has to look for a way past John Bow now, but he's also got to be aware that Brock's right on him, and that if he makes a mistake, Brock will be past him. So it's a very difficult position. You dive down the inside, but you've got to be aware if you lose too much speed, Peter Brock will slide straight by you. So Gardner will be aware of that.
6 laps to go. John Bow, the leader. Wayne Gardner right on his tailpipe. Then Peter Brock, followed by Glenn Seaton. Fair gap back to Seaton, then Scape. Craig Lowndes has got past Russell Ingall now. So Lowndes in 6th spot.
See the back of that shot. There's Seaton's car just coming through. He's in 4th position. There's Scape 5th. Lowndes in 6th, as Gary said, has overtaken Ingall, left him behind. So Lowndes is really charging. 1:14.04 that time around. One of the quick guys out there at the moment. But a lot of real estate between him and John Bow. Bow in control. Gardner in 2nd. Brock in 3rd. Gardner's looking for a place to set him up to pass. Oh, look at me!
Lock rear brakes. Yeah.
Oh.
No, there is no doubt John Bow is still having trouble with those brakes, and very lucky to keep that car on the circuit at this point in time.
So you've got the back up on the curb. Gardner would be getting a bird's eye view of that too.
Well, when you're as close as these 3 cars are, when the first guy makes a mistake, you really have to compensate as well, or you'll run straight into him. So, of course, Bow's had a moment. Gardner's that close, he can't take advantage of it. He's got to take evasive action, and Brock's in the same boat.
Bow has been having a few brake problems today. Maybe they're rearing their ugly head again in his seat as he tries to hang on to the lead. But Gardner's ready to pounce. He would have seen that problem he had coming through the S's.
We've gone from early on in the race where Bow could actually outbrake Gardner a little bit to now where Gardner and Brock are just gobbling him up under brakes.
Look how Seaton's closed the gap. 10 laps completed. He's still got about 4.5 laps left to do something about this. If he can climb onto the back of Brock's car, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Going to be tough for Bow to hold these guys out with 4+ laps remaining. Slingshotting off the curbs.
That little hiccup before cost them 2 seconds. So, you know, it's a very difficult thing, and they'll be aware of what though. Gardner's run wide there. He's gone across the top of the hill just a little bit too hard, and that's given Bow a little bit of breathing room. And of course, Brock's just dived straight into that hole.
And Seaton's taken advantage
so
too. He follows Brock through, and we look back on race cam. Gardner's been left high and dry.
And held up Mark Scape to boot.
Looks like Scape pulling out for passing manoeuvre 2. Now Seaton has been able to take advantage. Oh, he's given Brock a tap into the fence. Goodness me.
Oh, there was a definite contact there.
Right up behind Brock, a chicane coming onto the straight. Dear, oh dear.
Brock will be, he's having such a bad year. It's just so unfortunate.
See if there was contact there on the...
had to be.
No doubt about that.
Bit of a nudge there from the Ford Credit Falcon. Crunch.
Because you've got so much attitude on the car there, it doesn't take much of a tap to send you off. You're trying to change your car and get it to come back the other direction. And of course, as you saw, just a gentle nudge by Glenn, which I don't think was intentional. And bang, in he goes.
Who's laughing now?
Seaton.
Well, Seaton. And not only that, Lowndes is a big winner in all this too. He's gone from basically 7th to 4th. And as I said, it's just a matter of cruising along, consolidating your position, and who knows where you're going to finish.
So Falcons, different story. There's the Lansvale Smash Repairs car of Trevor Ashby in trouble. I think that's the end of the main straight. Locks him up, goes off into the dirt. But I think he's been able to get back into the action. There's our 2nd place man, Seaton. Scape now in 3rd, Lowndes up to 4th. Gardner still in 5th, Ingall in 6th.
There's not much of a mark on the front of his car, so if he did hit Brock, it wasn't very hard.
All this has taken the pressure off race leader John Bow, who for a while there was totally under siege. First from Wayne Gardner, then from Peter Brock. But has survived and has now got quite a comfortable little gap over the main opposition with the laps winding down.
12 laps completed, 3 to go. There's Wayne Gardner into the pits.
Yeah,
trouble here.
I'm sure as he ran across the top of the hill, even when they got down to Dandenong Road, they were still pulling away from him. So it's obvious he's got a problem. He's getting out, never a good sign in a short race.
Oh, that's a great shame. It was a very strong competitive run. You can see Gardner shaking his head. He knows he was in a good position there. Just not being able to capitalise on it. Coca-Cola's been in a number of good positions over the last 2 seasons. Just haven't been able to get through and make a race result, a win out of that.
Seaton right on John Bow's hammer now.
And Lowndes all over Scape.
So Lowndes coming right back into this battle. It looked like it was all shot to pieces at the start. Right back in 7th or 8th position. Now fighting his way right back into this battle. Look how close he is to the Gibson Motorsport Commodores. They come onto the main straight. They're side by side. Shifting into top gear, 250 kilometres an hour. Lowndes pushing through on the inside. Try and move across to get some nice track to brake on. Scaife stays right with him. They'll go side by side into turn 1. Scaife still on the outside. Gets a wheel up on the ripple strip. Nice control piece of driving there under maximum attack.
Fantastic driving.
Come up to lap 1 of the slower cars. There's the Stenican Commodore.
You see Lowndes just hang back a little bit there to get a bit of a run onto Scaife coming onto the back straight.
So Lowndes not successful there. That attack went for several hundred metres.
Going to hand it to Mark Scaife. I mean, that was heart in the mouth stuff, and he managed to hold out Lowndes. That was a very, very big effort.
Really sustained pressure from the youngster, but Scaife was just as good under that situation. Flames belching from the exhaust under brakes. Heading back toward the pit straight once again. Lowndes won't give up though. Relentless pressure here from the Mobile Commodore driver. We take Seaton's race cam. He's right up behind John Bowe. This is the battle for the lead, and I think there's only 1 lap to go. They're coming up toward the last lap, so only 3.1 kilometres of racetrack left for Glenn Seaton if he's going to win this heat too. Braking hard, swing across through this tight left-hander, and there's Scaife still under fire from Lowndes. He hasn't been able to do anything about it so far, but he won't give up until that checkered flag falls. Scaife bouncing 2 wheels up in the air. As they come onto the rear straight once again, a critical corner this. Picture terminal speed down the back straight. Lowndes will be looking to capitalise. He's really pumped here in front of his home crowd. Great success in Heat 1. Like to at least get on the podium for Heat 2. Has a look down the inside, but not enough room there. Good competitive run from Mark Scaife. Just 2 corners to go.
Well, watch out for the last desperate lunge here from Glenn Seaton. He's been trying now for the last 2 laps, not able to get the nose underneath John Bowe. Oh.
Looked like he was going to take that desperate run down the inside, decided not to. John Bowe is going to stretch it here and win Heat 2. Tremendous race. Glenn Seaton in 2nd position. Fought hard all the way, but just not quite able to pip the reigning champ on the line. So John Bowe back in form. Winner of the first heat at Eastern Creek, repeating that form here at Sandown, and obviously looking for 1 more to finish the day.
Possibly with a little bit of brake problem, but it's a fantastic job by JB. His Dunlops were obviously hanging in for the whole race, and you know, he's got a very good package today. I think he's going to show exactly what he can do.
John Bowe, the winner on a Shell race score. Glenn Seaton coming home in 2nd place. Mark Scaife holding down 3rd. Great comeback by Mark Lowndes to take 4th position, and Larry Perkins coming home in 5th.
Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, and they won't be beaten on price. A huge range of selected new parts for Holden, Ford, Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi, Suzuki and Toyota, and all at discount prices. New headlights, taillights, grills, panels, mirrors, bumper bars, blinkers and door handles. Now's the time to buy, and Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers won't be beaten on price. They try harder. Discount prices on new parts, and the range is enormous. See them, Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, 86 Sunderland Street, Derwent Park.
There are lawns, and then there are lawns. Whether it be the backyard or Bellreeve Oval, at Reg McDougall, we have the mower to get the job done. From Husqvarna, we've got ride-ons priced from just $2,990. These Husqvarna push mowers are as cheap as chips. There's brush cutters, line trimmers, this fabulous garden tiller, garden blowers and vacuums. Plus, approved purchasers receive 6 months interest-free terms. Mowing lawns may never be the most enjoyable thing you'll ever do, but at Reg McDougall, we'll make it a lot easier.
This bloke had a terrible accident at work. As you can see, he lost his left leg. But what's worse is now he could lose his right. His right to sue for damages. The state government is looking at legislation to change common law. Legislation that will leave thousands of badly injured Tasmanian workers in the lurch. Common law. Don't lose your right. Authorised by A.J. McMahon for the Law Society of Tasmania, Hobart.
Tasmania's Paul Stokel is dual Australian driving champion. Trust Bank is supporting Paul and other Tasmanians to achieve their sporting dreams. And now you have the chance to see Paul race at the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Trustbank's 8.99% fixed home loan is the best deal you'll ever drive. And if you take out the loan by the 1st of March, you'll be in the draw to join me at the Melbourne Grand Prix. But hurry, with rates like this, they're going fast.
Trust Bank, your bank.
There's so much in Tasmania's northwest to discover, and Leisureville can help you. Generous living facilities at affordable prices. Prices to suit every budget. Experience the Northwest. Experience Leisureville.
Oscar winner William Hurt with Chicago Hope's Mandy Patinkin and Adam Arkin in the brilliant movie that inspired a whole new generation of medical drama.
Doctor, you have a growth.
A hotshot surgeon becomes an ordinary patient.
This isn't a private room.
At the mercy of a system he helped create.
Shout at a doctor.
I am a doctor.
But then he discovers what it means to care.
Every doctor becomes a patient somewhere down the line, and then it'll hit you.
An unforgettable motion picture. The Doctor, 8:30 tonight.
For Mark Webber last year in the Formula Ford Championship, and I'm sure we're in for a wild ride at Sandown here today for the Ford Motorsport Slick 50 Australian Formula Ford Championship. Let's look how they line up today. Jason Bargwanna on pole position with John Blanchard alongside him. Row 2 with David Bernard in the Valvoline Van Diemen and Marcus Ambrose. Row 3, Paul Stevenson in the Ryco Filters Van Diemen with Cameron Partington in the Reef City Ford. Row 4, Icky Harrington, the Warmold security car, and Daniel Orr in the second Spectrum. Rounding out the 10, Todd Kelly in the North Star Mildura Van Diemen and Dean Lindstrom in the RF91. 5 seconds to the start. Ford Motorsport Slick 50 Australian Formula Ford Championship, round 2. Revs rise. And away they go. A massive field of Formula Fords, 40 cars in all. It's John Blanchard leaping off the outside to give the poleman Jason Bargwanna a real challenge into turn 1. Lock brakes, Bargwanna gets all out of shape. There's cars going every which way. Bit of damage there already for car 14, Paul Stevenson, the man who ran so strongly at Eastern Creek. He's out of the battle after only a few hundred metres, but Bargwanna has taken control and lead them up the back straight for the first time. A hectic start to the Formula Ford Championship round, Brad.
Certainly was, and David Bernard was one of those cars that went off there, so he'll be very disappointed being a championship contender.
Massive field, 40 cars. It's almost like an HQ field. Just trying to squeeze their way along this big slipstreaming battle up the back straight for the first time. Blanchard goes to the outside. Beat your chest, Tarzan. That's pretty brave stuff out there.
Certainly a little bit of that going on this weekend. We saw Scaife do that a little earlier on, and it's a very, very brave move to go around the outside in any sort of car.
So Bargwanna, the poleman, gets taken by surprise more than anything over the top there. A very brave move by John Blanchard as the field streams back through the chicane and onto the main straight for the first of 8 laps. So Blanchard, that paid off. Bit of bravery out there. Bargwanna still in second place, moves up onto the tail, right under the gearbox of Blanchard's AMSA Van Diemen. He shoots along the outside. A great run out of that corner onto the main straight. He's in the lead now. See if Blanchard, no challenge on the inside, is there? Blanchard comes back at him again. Bargwanna could do nothing on the outside, so Blanchard's still in control. A great scrap here. Marcus Ambrose in third position. Up toward the back straight once again. We take race cam, Slick 50 race cam aboard Jason Bargwanna's Team Arrow Spectrum, and look at the vibration of that little engine revving its head off. Comes right up behind Blanchard's car, gets a little bit of an aerodynamic draft, moves to the outside, absolutely flat throttle. They'll go side by side, wheel to wheel across the top, and Blanchard doesn't look like he's going to give in, but he has to. Fantastic stuff from the Formula Fords. as they come down toward XR6 corner once again.
Well, this is what the punters pay their money for, and they're certainly getting their bucks worth here at Sandown in the Formula Ford race.
So the Spectrum car leading the field, an Aussie-built chassis by Ball and Racing Developments in Melbourne, taking on the best that England has to offer in the form of Swift and Van Diemen. Real encouragement to this small Australian manufacturer. Jason Bargwanna leads them across the start-finish line. 2 laps completed.
And as you can see, he's running right down on the white line on the inside. You get the slipstream effect, pull out to pass the car. That's Blanchard going around the outside of him there.
Well, swapping positions all over the place, and it looks like that's Kelly. Todd
Kelly in car 19 has slipped up to 3rd.
He's just taken that from Marcus Ambrose. Now, this red car, the guy driving this is just 16 years of age. He's on his L plates for a road licence. And he's just learning his way in Formula Ford here. Great run. We saw him do some very quick laps in the opening heat at Eastern Creek. And he's re-showing that form here at Sandown. Look at Bargwanna. Gets another great run out of that corner. But Blanchard is fighting back on the inside. See if Blanchard can repeat the trick here. Bargwanna's going to take him. Fantastic move by Jason Bargwanna. Blanchard gets shuffled back. Picking a winner this far out would just be impossible, Bradley Jones.
Well, I'm certainly not much of a tipper, and so far everyone I've picked has lost, so I certainly wouldn't be trying to do it.
Bit of trouble there for car 75 off the race track. It's Philip Skyfleet, guy who drove in the Suzuki GTI Cup last year very competitively, but in trouble. Blue flags waving. Blanchard pulls out the right. Kelly going with him up the inside. Kelly's over the white line. He's going to be very bumpy under brakes into there, and he's lost it. He paid the price. Very brave run, but didn't quite pay off for Todd Kelly. If he can get out of that sand, he'll be doing well.
Well, unfortunately, running down the inside there, that's you know, you can get by them, but no one usually runs there, so there's little bits of rubber on the circuit, and oh, we got a couple of cars off there.
Another one in trouble. Can't see the number on that one.
A bad spot to park.
Oh, that was a learning experience, wasn't it, for Todd Kelly? He'll know better next time.
Look at that on the replay. Kelly just came in really deep under brakes, right up against the Armco. As Brad Jones pointed out, a lot of marbles there, not quite enough grip, and he paid the price. The last chance for Jason Bargwanna to get the big aerodynamic draft that he needs. We take Slip 50 race cam aboard this battle. Ambrose has him covered. He's only got 1 or 2 opportunities left to him if he's going to make a pass for the lead. But Ambrose showing a lot of cornering speed. He's got out of that corner quite quickly as they come down toward the chicane for the final time. So Bargwanna, after holding the lead, battling with John Blanchard, now on that final lap, he's been taken. Oh, there's another one off. It's a blue car. Maybe one of the AMSA cars. Can't see the number there. Bargwanna's having one final lunge. He comes up the outside. Yes! He waves his fist and he's done it. Boy, oh boy, talk about planning your move.
Well, that's what slipstreaming's all about, and as we can see, he's very, very excited with that.
Well, that is a really cheeky move. You won't see a better planned run than that. Jason Bargwanna leaving it for the final 200 or 300 metres, pulling out of the draft to take the win. A sensational drive from Jason Bargwanna in the Spectrum. Equally great drive for Marcus Ambrose, the young Tasmanian. Terrific fight.
What a thriller. And here's the finish again for Jason Bargwanna in the Slick 50 Australian Formula Ford Championship. He's the winner, just ahead of Marcus Ambrose. John Blanchard third. Daniel Orr finished fourth, and Icky Harrington in 5th position. We'll be back after this break with Superbikes at Sandown Park.
Good news for prestige car buyers. Jackson Ford specialise in all types of luxury cars. They sell Honda, coupes and sedans, BMWs, both early and current models, even MX-6 or Mercedes-Benz and 4-wheel drives. Jackson's will even buy your prestige car direct. Low-rate finance is available at 10% to approved clients, or repayments can be delayed until Easter '96. So see Jackson Ford now, your prestige car dealer in northern Tasmania.
Go to top of the class. Get back to school with Talais.
The Davis Cup boys are in town to play Chinese Taipei, and downtown are celebrating. Triple T's morning crew will host Australia's first street hit. A full-size tennis court will be erected in Murray Street on Wednesday, February 7th. All the stars will be there, so don't miss it. Best of all, shoppers can take advantage downtown. Any purchase gives you the chance to win a trip for a family of 4 to the Royal Pines Resort in Queensland. Take advantage downtown. See next Tuesday's Mercury for full details.
Ernie takes a great escape. Penny opts for the high life to see wildlife. And Bridget takes you for a walk on the wild side. The great outdoors, right after Better Homes and Gardens, Tuesday. 8:30 Thursday, she's got...
Oh, at least taste it.
No.
Pie phobia.
No.
Come on.
No.
You won't even taste it?
Seinfeld.
No.
The series final.
That's exactly like me.
8:30 Thursday on Southern Cross.
Yes, the beautiful city of Melbourne, the Victorian capital, and soon to play host to the Australian Formula One Grand Prix at Albert Park for the first time later in March. Looking forward to that one. Well, Superbikes out on the track, completing their warm-up lap for Heat 2 of the Shell Superbike Series. Sandown International Raceway. Kevin Schwantz, 1993 World 500cc motorcycle champ, joins us again for commentary. And Kevin, looking at Troy Bayliss' performance in that opening heat, he just really has his thumb on this grid, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's qualified on pole, and that first race he was real dominant. I think maybe Goddard can race with him for a little while, but we didn't get to see that happen the first race with Pete slipping off. So some of the other guys get a good start and get to the front maybe a little bit quicker. Maybe they can jump in his draft and stay there.
Away they go, Heat 2, the Shell Superbike Series. Kawasaki up the outside, very fast run off the front row, and it's 33, leaping through to the lead as they come through this second race.
Goddard right there in second. He needs to get that start and try and get right on Bayliss's back end and try and stay there.
So Bayliss leaping off the line, showing his form in Heat 2 was no fluke as they open them up. Get the power down, 150 horsepower, Superbike. Building up to well over 200 kilometres an hour up the back straight for the first time, braking hard for this 180-degree hairpin. Fiber Flash Suzuki bike 69 in second. No, just sneaking through on the inside. Martin Craggle, and you could see there, Damon Buckmaster had to straighten it up as Goddard came blasting through. Bike 24, Craggle on the inside on the Kawasaki. So a very frantic start to Superbikes. A little bit of wobble there for Goddard. So after that drama in the first heat, looks like Goddard's got some speed back, Kevin.
Yeah, Peter got outrun by Buckmaster down the back straightaway, and then Craggle had them both on the brakes and got in a little bit too deep. But it seems like it may have sorted itself out. And Peter looked to me like he almost slipped off the bike there again, and in the same type of situation as he did in the first race with a little bit of loss of contact in the front end.
So Craggle winning that little argument. 19, Sean Giles. One of the mobile Hondas. There's another one in trouble, bike 37. Or 77, is it?
Yeah.
That's Chris Ognenis, privateer. So Bayliss it is. Craggle in second position. And there's Goddard in third, Buckmaster in fourth, Giles in fifth, Thomas on the mobile Honda in sixth, Archibald David Emerson, Stafford, and Phyllis, Robbie Phyllis. Coming back, there's a big run here by the Ducati up the inside. Superb handling cycle. Let's see if he's been able to do it. Yes, indeed. Sean Giles gets through Buckmaster. He's up to 4th position. So much stronger run from the Dukes in Heat 2, Kevin.
Almost made that pass look easy with a little bit of slipstreaming work that he did. Got right in there behind Damon Buckmaster and went right by him on the brakes.
There's 96 in trouble.
That's Goddard's teammate.
Shell Suzuki dealer team, like a satellite team almost of the answer. Oh, another one's down, 34. John Phelan, Kawasaki ZXR. Oh, he's hurt his leg too. So I've had a couple drop pretty quickly. So John limping away. Hopefully he'll be okay. Tell me, when they ride the 500s, they've got so much horsepower that you guys talk about riding, cornering this technique on the back wheel where you're sliding the bike on the rear wheel. Is the technique similar with the superbikes?
It really is. It's just a little bit more weight and a little less horsepower. You're gonna have to be that much more. You have to use that much more finesse when you're doing it on a Grand Prix bike, rear wheel steering, like we're seeing both Bayliss and Craggle do as they come out on the gas.
So words from Kevin Schwantz, been there and done that, 93 world motorcycle champion, joining us for commentary at 7 today, and I believe 3 weeks' time at Bathurst, you'll be doing something a little different around Mount Panorama. Your first drive in a NASCAR up there.
Yeah, I've never even been to Bathurst and seen a car race or a motorcycle race, so it's going to be a real new experience for me, and I guess from what I've heard, a real eye-opener. At Bathurst is supposed to be one of the racetracks that that really does set everybody apart.
Yeah, we're looking forward with interest to that. John Phelan, meanwhile, you saw him drop the bike a couple of laps ago, just getting some help there from one of the marshals, and hopefully John will be okay. Last lap for Bayliss as he flashes across the start-finish line. Just 1 lap to go. He's coming under enormous pressure now from Martin Craggle, slowly chewing away at that lead. It's been very slow progress for Craggle. Maximum pressure riding from these two teammates.
There's going to be a spot for it to happen. I say Craggle's going to try it off the back straightaway. It seems like he's, like I said earlier, he seems really good on the brakes, maybe a little bit stronger than Bayliss is going into the corner. I see him just trying to pull off a nice little block pass up the inside. It's pretty far back, though.
Yeah, Bayliss really opened it up through the fast curve that time around. Craggle closing the ground. Still 2 or 3 bike lengths between them as they go through the infield section. Ooh, little wobbly moment there. What could that be, Kevin? Just trying too hard, or tires?
Yeah, just into the race. Tires getting a little bit slippery, and not wanting that guy behind him to get past.
And that'd be just the thing Craggle would be looking for, wouldn't it? Like, hey, I've got him hustled here.
Yep, Craggle had been maybe a little bit closer. He could have forced the issue a little bit into the next turn, but I think if Troy can keep those 4 bike lengths there, he's gonna be able to get home with it.
So, inter-team battle here. Heat 2 of the Shell Superbike Series. Troy Bayliss, Martin Craggle applying the pressure. Bayliss really has withstood enormous pressure throughout this race. Just got half a lap to go toward the finish. Looks like he's got him unless he makes a mistake.
That's one of the hardest things to do as well, is to lead the race, to go from the front, with the pressure in your pit board and everything telling you exactly what's happening. But Bayliss has withstood the pressure and done a great job.
Thank Kevin Schwantz for joining us in commentary today as Troy Bayliss makes it 2 from 2. Waves a fist in jubilation, and well he might do. Martin Craggle chased him hard but just couldn't crack the whip. Let's check how they finished on the Shell race score. Great ride that, Troy Bayliss and the Team Kawasaki ZXR. Martin Craggle, his teammate, in second. Peter Goddard in third. Sean Giles on the Ducati in fourth. And Ben Archibald on the second Ducati in fifth position.
Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, and they won't be beaten on price. A huge range of selected new parts for Holden, Ford, Nissan, Honda, Mitsubishi, Suzuki and Toyota, and all at discount prices. New headlights, taillights, grills, panels, mirrors, bumper bars, blinkers and door handles. Now's the time to buy, and Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers won't be beaten on price. They try harder. Discount prices on new parts, and the range is enormous. See them, Sunderland Street Auto Wreckers, 86 Sunderland Street, Derwent Park.
Karcher, the world's largest manufacturer of high-pressure cleaners, offer more. The widest range of machines, suitable for every cleaning problem. World-leading technology and dependability. Plus, statewide after-sales service by our factory-trained technicians. And all from a company with over 60 years' experience. So, whatever your cleaning needs, call the name you can rely on. The name with experience. Karcher, 60 years strong.
And you say he knows nothing about safe sex?
I doubt he thinks about it. He's just started going with a girlfriend.
Do you talk to him about it?
He'd be so embarrassed.
Sure. It's a difficult age. And I'm honestly not sure that generation's all that clued up.
They think they are.
And you're the last person who'd want to know he even has a private life.
Mm-hmm.
But you care about him.
I really do.
Look, there's a lot of stuff I can send you. And if you leave it lying around like it was your reading material, I think it'd get read.
You'll probably wonder why I'm reading it.
Hey, you're entitled. Well, it's good he's going out.
Yeah. Well, it is 5 years since Mum died.
Here comes something new and pink from Extra. New Extra sugar-free bubblegum with a big bubblegum flavour. That lasts and lasts.
It's a breakthrough. New Extra sugar-free bubblegum with the bubblegum flavour that really lasts.
I'm Winks the cat, bedroom expert. It's Wink and Save Week at 40 Winks. Save $300 on these beautiful bedroom suites. Truly $300 off. You won't need your purse, nothing to pay until next August, and interest-free. Save on timber and iron beds, kids' beds, and bedding too. Same deal. Pay nothing until next August and interest-free. Savings easy as winking at 40 Winks and interest-free.
An alien life form crashes to Earth.
I suggest you forget what you think you saw. We both know what's out there.
It has no shape, it has no form, and only one deadly purpose. Another spine-chilling case from the X-Files, Wednesday.
Peter Brock, it's been another day of misadventure for the man behind the wheel of 05. Second heat into the fence, courtesy of a little nudge from Glenn Seaton, but a 10. Mr. Brock has got a new set of wheels and he's gunning for Glenn in heat 3 of the championships at Sandown this afternoon. John Bow, pole position, courtesy of winning heat 2. Glenn Seaton joins him on the front row of the grid for this one. Then Mark Scaife on the second row with Craig Lowndes.
Out of row 3, Larry Perkins and his teammate Russell Ingall, the two Castrol Commodores. Row 4, Dick Johnson in the Shell Falcon, and Stephen Richards, sensational effort of that in the Commodore.
And for the top dozen, Peter Brock and Paul Romano in 201 for pack leader Falcon.
5 seconds away from the start of Heat 3, Shell Australian Touring Car Championship Round 2 from Sandown International. John Bow on pole position, Glenn Seaton alongside him. The field launch, Seaton gets a great start. Mark Scaife follows him through. They're squeezing Bow over near the Armco, up toward turn 1. And it's Seaton in first position. Bow survives, pushes his way into second. There's Scaife in third, and an enormous pack of V8 shuffling through turn 1 and down toward the chicane for the first time. So it's Seaton, Bow, Scaife right behind him. We've got cars going every which way back there. Oh, Jim. Oh, there's been a tap there for Dick Johnson. Look at them all trying to pick their way through. So there's all sorts of panel rubbing, a bit of damage there. But they've managed to continue. Dick Johnson's out on the grass. He may have a problem. Well, it's a great shame for the Shell 17 Falcon. Bit of bent panels on the back. You can see he's copped a short back and side. So let's look at that on the replay. From Larry Perkins' race cam, you can see they're flying all over the place. There's David Parsons in front of him. Perkins took evasive action onto the grass, but there was just glass breaking everywhere, bits of Kevlar bodywork. So there's been a real punch-up through that first section of the track, but they've sorted themselves out. His teammate, John Bow, in second position. Getting pretty heavy there on that first turn, Brad.
Well, it certainly was, and it's allowed the first 5 cars to skip away a little bit.
So nice clean air out in front for Glenn Seaton, who leads them through. John Bow in second position, Scaife in third. Seaton making a big charge through the pack in the second heat. And there he is, Dick Johnson. Looked like he was just limping around the corner. He didn't get very far.
Quite possibly broken a steering arm or something on that car. He was having a lot of trouble just driving it down the straight line.
And Larry Perkins in trouble too, car 11. Dick Johnson, Mark Osler, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, mate.
That there was cars going every which way there. How did you see it?
Well, it's just obvious that young Craig Lowndes needs to get a little bit of experience because, you know, you're not going to win the race in the first couple of corners. And, like, it was just the fact that you've got to give everyone a bit of racing room, Mark.
So you think Craig was the root of the problem there?
Well, I'm not sure whether it was Craig or whatever, but, you know, he certainly didn't give me enough room.
OK, Dick, well, sorry to see you on the sidelines there. Look forward to you getting back on the track at Bathurst.
We can only hope.
OK, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
So Dick Johnson didn't even complete a lap. Very disappointing for him, but here's his teammate John Bowe right up behind race leader Glenn Seaton and the Ford Credit Falcon. Scaife in there very close too. That's Ingle. First of the Holden Racing Team Commodores. I think it's Brock, Lowndes behind. So
actually Lowndes was a big winner there. Perkins is in the pits, Dick's broken down, and Lowndes is still running in 6th, which is good for his title chances. It's important for him to finish races.
Certainly came here with a big points haul. Almost perfect score from Eastern Creek, 2 out of 3 in a second. And he really wants to defend that points lead. You can see Dick Johnson there, not too happy with the youngster as he sits on the sidelines. Here's Glenn Seaton, lights ablaze on John Bowe's car. I believe John's been having some brake problems, Bradley.
Well, he has. He finds that once he gets to about lap 7, the brakes start to go away on the front. It tends to want to lock rears, like as we've seen in the previous race. So he'll have that in the back of his mind. He's hoping to fix the problem, but he's not sure. But at the moment, he's got Scaife all over him. And Mark hasn't won a round this year, and he'll be pressing on. He'll be trying to get to Glenn as quickly as he can.
Mark Scaife, the attack. I said before that brand new Gibson Motorsport Commodore that was built for this championship got all badly crunched up at Eastern Creek last week. The car is repairable, but they didn't want to rush the job, so they brought out the spare from last year, so that's why it's changed its colour scheme quite noticeably. It certainly hasn't slowed them down. Scaife really charging here right up behind the wing of the Shell 1 Ford. There's Russell Engel. He's got Peter Brock and Craig Lowndes right behind him, the 2 Holden Racing Team Commodores. Tom Walkinshaw Racing boss, Uncle Tom, Sandown this afternoon watching the action.
Well, he'd be very happy with the result in the first race, but I don't think he'd be too happy with the way they're running at the moment. But back at the front, we've got Glenn Seaton, and here's JB doing a great job.
Seaton, a 1:14.38 last time around. Quite quick time, says David Parsons. We saw him from Larry Perkins' race cam in that first chicane smash-up. And looks like he's done a bit of damage to the right front.
That's the end of his day too, I'm afraid.
That's always a shame. Here comes Lowndes, big run on Peter Brock. Let's look up the inside. More than a look, he's right alongside him. He'll take that position back, so Lowndes moves up to 5th. And he looks like he's on a bit of a charge too, a 1:14.09 that time around. Just about the quickest guy on the track at the moment.
Russell Engel is the next man in Craig Lowndes' sights. Engel in 4th place. Glenn Seaton still running at the front of the pack. John Bowe under pressure from Mark Scaife, then Engel, then Lowndes, then Peter Brock. That's the top half dozen.
And there's nothing between them. 0.3 of a second between the fastest and the slowest in that group.
Oh, look at Bowe. Look how hard that car's working. Suspension. You can hear the front downforce producing undertay scraping on the ground. 1,350 kilograms of race car. It's pretty punishing on all the components inside it. Bowe's just using every ounce of performance he can get out of this car because he's got Scaife really breathing down his neck. The Gibson Motorsport Commodore's looking very, very competitive in this final heat, Brad.
It certainly is, and what you notice about the first 3 cars is, unlike some of the ones a little further back, they're not afraid to drive the cars over the curb. Here we have Lowndes attacking Russell Engel.
So he's really got to move on. He's just cleaned up his teammate last time around. Up the inside of Russell Engel, he's got a good line into turn 1. So he'll take that position. That's another one. Oh, just gets squeezed for room inside Mark Poole's car. But Poole gives him as much room as he possibly could. Lowndes squeezes through.
Fastest lap so far for Craig Lowndes, 1:13.71.
Fastest man on the track. 1.1 seconds, the gap between Seaton and Bowe. That time around, Scaife right up Bowe's tail. So they come up the back straight here. 260 kilometres an hour, just braking. About 180 as they turn into this left-hander. And look at this battle back here. This is Stephen Richards, the first of the privateers and the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. He's got Alan Jones right behind him. And honestly, this is an outstanding effort from this privateer.
Especially if you were to compare their budgets. It's a great job by Stephen. They're a very small team, done a lot of hard work. This is, of course, one of the ex-Gibson Motorsport cars from last year, and to be running where he is a fantastic job.
Well, it's actually a good omen, because it's the actual car that his father, Jimmy Richards, drove in the championship, so it's keeping the seat warm for his dad and doing an excellent job. Ex-Gibson Motorsport Commodore, running on Dunlop tyres and really showing a clean pair of heels to the rest of the privateer pack at Sandown here today. Back to the front, John Bowe, Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes really on a charge. He's got right up behind Scaife. 6 laps completed of this 15-lap final race. So the action is on here at Sandown Park. Let's check the Shell race score for you. Glenn Seaton in command from John Bowe, Mark Scaife in third, Craig Lowndes closing in fourth, and Russell Ingall rounds out the 5. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
It's your lucky day because it's trade-in time at Bennett's Furniture and Bedding, Grove Road, Glenorchy. Trade in that old bed, lounge suite or dining setting. Yes, it's out with the old and in with the new during trade-in time at Bennett's Furniture and Bedding, Grove Road, Glenorchy.
When you're bringing home the bacon, go to Shredded Cut Meats. For a big juicy steak, we got all you can eat. We got homemade snacks and chicken too. All kind of treats are wrapped up for you at Shredded Cut Meats. Yeah, Shredded Cut Meats.
Tasmania's Paul Stokel is dual Australian driving champion. Trust Bank is supporting Paul and other Tasmanians to achieve their sporting dreams. And now you have the chance to see Paul race at the Melbourne Grand Prix.
Trustbank's 8.99% fixed home loan is the best deal you'll ever drive. And if you take out the loan by the 1st of March, you'll be in the draw to join me at the Melbourne Grand Prix. But hurry, with rates like this, they're going fast.
Trust Bank, your bank.
Hog's Breath Cafe. Great food, great fun, and great value.
Check this out. Bets and Bets have not only got a huge range of back-to-school shoes, they've also got Hit It, guys. Yep, buy any pair of shoes at Bets and Bets and you get... Girls, boys, big, small, you get... Oh yeah, did I also mention you can get... Only during back to school at Bets and Bets.
Someone's doing something they shouldn't.
She's having an affair.
While a cop with connections brings a teenage criminal face to face with the higher courts.
The suspect's dying.
Is it time to give justice a helping hand? University Hospital, 8:30 Tuesday. 7:30 Thursday, a premiere special you can't afford to miss.
An area of pigmentation.
The prevention, detection and treatment of cancer. It could save your life.
Join me as we investigate Tasmania's battle against the big C's.
Thursday.
Great battle continues here with Mark Scaife, right on the tail of John Bowe, and Craig Lowndes just sitting in behind this duo, waiting for something to give.
Oh, look at that. Just sticks the nose of the Mobile Commodore down the inside to have a look. Scaife responds, holds his position. It's nose to tail through here onto the main straight.
This battle allowing Glenn Seaton just to open up a little bit bigger gap at the front.
And John Bowe shot right across the left-hand side of the straight, Brad. Any reason why he'd be doing that?
To make sure Mark didn't try and duck down the inside of him.
So
He'd
just
be trying to cover his ground as much as he can. And of course, Scaife's doing the same thing.
See that Bowe just turning in. Car came in really hot. He may be having those brake problems now. Maybe went into the corner a bit faster than he would have liked.
Well, he's certainly got a lot of pressure, but John's been around a long time and he's certainly used to dictating the pace from the lead or, the front of the group, and hasn't put a foot wrong at this point. And just, as you can see, the people closing up behind him is just covering his bases, which...
And of course, this carve up is allowing both... He's got it up to just under 2 seconds now over Bowe, and the other bunch behind to catch up with this trio. So they're getting very, very close.
The bunch behind, Russell Ingall and Peter Brock, so positions 2 through to 5, nothing to choose between them.
There certainly was nothing between Bowe and Scaife there. Scaife is just letting him know that he wants to come by, and Here we go.
Well, he's letting him know here. Leans on him, bit of body contact there, bit of elbowing.
Now, Craig could be the big winner out of this.
Yeah, he is the big winner too, because that's mucked up Scaife's run out of that corner.
Both of them.
Oh, there's been a contact there. Bauer coming across to cover his tracks. Contact between him and the Mobile 1.5 Commodore.
That's the best snooker shot you've seen in your life.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone spinning onto the main straight at Sandown.
Certainly not without hitting something.
Bit of damage there to the front of Craig Lowndes' car. Tells the story. Scaife, meanwhile, has been able to fight back in that instant. Look at that on replay. Scaife bulldozing his way through behind Craig Lowndes. And there's John Bow, who's left to slide down the straight. There's John's girlfriend, Debbie, watching from the pits. Boy, you wouldn't expect that sort of thing to happen.
Great recovery by Bow. There, you got to hand it to him. He didn't touch a thing.
It just shows how hard these guys are trying. Absolute hammer and tongs, wheel to wheel, give no quarter racing.
And to Craig's credit, he's really not giving an inch. I mean, he's definitely letting them know that he means business. And
that's why the crowd love him. He is in front of his home crowd, of course, here in Victoria. He's shown himself to be a real charger. Maybe upsetting a few people along the way, but he's getting the results.
You were fearless when you were 21, weren't you, Brad?
I was in a Formula Ford when I was 21. Okay.
So Seaton now, 3.75 seconds the gap over this battle, with Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes in third position. I think it's still Russell Ingall in fourth. And Russell is actually getting quite close. He's only a second or so down. There's the gap there. There's Ingall and the Castrol Commodore with Brock behind him. So Ingall may well climb onto the back of this battle fairly shortly as well.
Glenn Seaton opening up a nice, comfortable lead now as he heads up the back of the circuit. Glenn Seaton, things are looking pretty good for you in this final heat.
Yeah, so far, Gary, but I would have said that about Bathurst too.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed if you haven't got anything else to do with your hands at the moment, but you look a bit busy.
Yeah, it's pretty hot out here. It's pretty busy, but no, I'm enjoying it. Finally had a bit of a bugger up at the start in the first race, and they've worked back, but no, at this stage I'm fairly happy.
Yeah, well, there was a bit of a bunch up at the start behind you in this third heat too. That was good for you.
Yeah, it was really. It makes it a little bit easier. But, the race still isn't over, so still got a little way to go.
Oh, back behind you, John Bow's been in all sorts of strife. We saw him spin at the top of the main straight. He's just had another excursion, so after looking so good early in this heat, and of course earlier in the day, the news is now bad for the Shell FAI team because Dick Johnson out of action as well.
One of the pack leader Falcons, you can see that off on the grass just through the S's too. I think it might have been Alan Jones. Maybe a coming together between those two. So a real war of the sheet metal here. You can see battle damage all over the cars. So that's really, really intense racing in the V8s at Sandown today. We've got Seaton now, 4.1 seconds the gap over Scaife. The red car here in second. Craig Lowndes just behind him. Ingall, Brock, Stephen Richards now, because of that little kerfuffle, moves up into the top six. So Bow and Alan Jones.
Synchronised spinning.
Synchronised spinning indeed. So there's been some sort of a coming together there. Let's see if Jones manages to keep it off the fence.
Yes, he
Maybe
does.
not.
No.
A little touch there, but Bow's got them all locked up. There's just a heap of dust. And pack leader Falcon out of the running.
Okay, this is the battle for second and third. Mark Scaife still hanging on to second, but Craig Lowndes applying the pressure as the laps unwind here in this third and final heat of the second round. Alan Jones in the pits, walking around to have a look at the front of the car, see if there's any major damage there, and talking to the pit crew.
Jim Stone, his race engineer. And Jim, when he gets on the headsets, he really urges Alan on. And, gee, maybe just a bit too hot there this afternoon. Jones and Bow coming together. And Alan out of the race. There's Seaton now, the race leader. Scaife still in second. Lowndes doing everything he can to get past in third position. 11 laps completed in this 15-lapper. So things are looking pretty good for Craig Lowndes. Big points haul from Eastern Creek. He's won the first heat here today. Had a bit of trouble in the second. He's back in a trophy position in this third heat. So if he can just survive, he's going to be looking pretty good for the championship with only 2 rounds out of the way. There's Russell Ingall, fourth position. Peter Brock in fifth. Just waiting for Stephen Richards. There he is in the Valvoline Commodore, the first of the privateers. And Neil Crompton recovering from that gearbox drama earlier on in 7th position. His teammate, of course, Wayne Gardner, starting off the back of the grid after he suffered a suspension failure. I think it was a failure of a front strut.
Well, it's a little unusual. Broke the top straight out of the strut, which where it happened at the top of the hill, he was lucky not to go off, as we saw in that second heat. But there's still plenty of action here. These two, there's nothing between them, and Craig's slowly running out of laps. I think that he'll have a lunge at him at some stage. He certainly, you know, looking down the inside there isn't.
Well, that last time around, looking at their times, Bradley, Seaton at 14.4. These two going 3 or 4 tenths quicker than that time around.
Oh, I think you'd find that Glenn's got to a point where he's, you know, 3 seconds in front, just watching the mirror, watching the board, making sure that everything's fine and not taking any risks. Where you'll find these two are fighting so hard, they're just egging one another on and just going faster and faster as the laps unwind.
Well, Seaton had it out to 4.1 seconds a bit early on. He's dropped back to 2.7 that time around. We'll see if the gap's changed. Has a big look in the rear view mirror to see how those two are carving each other up behind.
What he'll do is 2 or 3 times around the circuit, like that one we just saw, he'll look and see what the gap is every lap. And besides having the board to tell him where they are, you just, you know, learn to gap them yourself. So,
well, it looks like he's sustaining it now. It's a 2.4, almost 2.5 second gap. So Seaton just controlled. Look at that turn into the last possible minute lock brake on the unloaded side of Scaife's car, really giving it everything. It's fabulous to see the 94 Australian Touring Car Championship back so competitive.
Just under 2 laps to go now as they head up the back straight. Glenn Seaton, comfortable leader. That'll mark Scaife. Craig Lowndes. Lowndes, I think you'll find, will have the points to take this round of the series, even if he doesn't manage to get past Scaife here, but I think he'd like to make certain of it.
Scaife showing a lot of race consistency, a lot of very good driving under pressure. Lights ablaze, took his way through the slower traffic, and coming up to complete 14 laps, 1 to go. So can Scaife survive just 3.1 kilometres of Sandown and hang on to this second place in the last heat? Flat strap down the main straight, 250 kilometres an hour. Lowndes, the brake lights on there. Leaving it to the last possible minute now. Pack leader's having an awful day here. Here's Paul Romano, Alan Jones' younger teammate.
Big crunch at the front.
It's down at XR8 corner. There is some damage there, but he's managed to get going. I suspect he'll come into the pits. So the daughter, Seaton, just dropped it down to 2 seconds now over Scaife. Lowndes in 3rd, Ingle, Brock, Stephen Richards in 6th, Crompton in 7th, Bowes fought his way back to 8th. Gardner and Ellery, Stephen Ellery, the young private, in 10th position.
You hear the front of the cars banging on the ground there. That's a combination of them scooting over the curbs and the amount of downforce that they need to, or that they generate going through that very, very fast part of the circuit. Now, Craig's just about to have a big go here. He's running out of time very quickly. But I think you'll find Scaife pretty well got him covered.
Very tidy. Lowndes tries to get a really quick run out of here onto the straight for the final time. But they're not going to be touching Glenn Seaton.
No, Seaton with his eye on the rear view mirror knows he's got a comfortable lead. The checkered flag waves for Glenn. And the Ford credit card takes the victory in this Heat 3, round 2 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. And that's a great result for Glenn Seaton, who came off the front row of the grid for the 3rd heat. Thumbs up. Yep. Excellent result for Glenn Seaton in this 3rd heat to take the checkered flag by a comfortable margin on the Shell race score. We can confirm Mark Scaife holds on for 2nd place. Craig Lowndes into 3rd. Russell Ingle, a good drive for 4th, and Peter Brock in 5th position.
Well, happy scenes here at Sandown International Raceway at the conclusion of round 2 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Top place privateer this afternoon, I'm sure you'll agree, a great effort. Stephen Richards. Fabulous run, Steve. That was a really good run. 6th position, your 2nd time out in the car. You must be wrapped.
No, we're wrapped. We've sort of had a bit of an indifferent weekend, but the races have come along really well. Just like to thank our sponsors, Valvoline, Cummins, Pyro Performance Products, and Gay Rogers Motorsport for supplying me such a great car.
Stephen Richards, put your hands together, please. And in 3rd position today and really fighting his way back into competitiveness in Australia's premier tin top category, Mark Scaife. Well done, Scapey. It's been a long, hard road for you and Fred, but it looks like you're really getting your act together here.
Well, you know, the incident, Eastern Creek didn't stand us in very good stead to start the year, but obviously to be back at the pointy end again today is fantastic, and to all the guys at Holden and Gibson Motorsport and Yokohama and Ansett, thank you.
Congratulations, Mark Scape. In second place today, and I'm sure you'll agree, a great drive, Glenn Seaton. Gee, Glenn, we saw some wild action out there today. You managed to survive it and get yourself up on the podium. Well done.
Yeah, I got a terrible start in the first race and fell back a long way, but we worked our way through. But no, if it wasn't for Ford Credit and Bridgestone Tyre Centres and also Mobil and Ingersoll Rand, we wouldn't be here today, so thank you to them.
Terrific, Glenn Seaton, well done. Just at this moment, I'd like to call on Ross Brody from the Shell Oil Company to make the presentation. The big winner today for the second time in 7 days, Craig Lowndes. Tell you what, mate, you're a popular boy here. Fabulous run, well done.
Thank you very much. It's my only second round here, and we've started off the season great. I'd like to thank the guys though. They had a little bit of work to do after that second race. I made a terrible start, and I'll obviously have to make a little bit more sort of perfect to that. And I'd like to thank Bridgestone. The tyres held in well, although the condition, and I'd like to thank Mobil and the Holden. Thank you.
Craig Lowndes, big winner at Sandown this afternoon. Gary Wilkinson, tell us how the points look.
After just 2 rounds of the championship, Craig Lowndes skips clear, 102 points, ahead of Glenn Seaton, John Bowe on 72, Wayne Gardner on 50, Mark Scape on 48. Take a break from motorsport next weekend. On 7 Sport, you'll be seeing the Skins from Sanctuary Cove. Laura Davies takes on the guys. Tourers return from Bathurst, Mount Panorama on February 25. See you then.